Right, good morning to you all. How are you this morning? Okay, good. Right, put your hands up, down. All right. You know all, it's a maths lesson, so I want you all to take out your exercise and the textbook. Be prepared, right? Get ready, and please put your pencil together with you so that you can jot down the main points. Right, the topic of the lesson is shapes, right? Shapes. The learning outcome of the lesson is identify and differentiate between plane figure and space figure, also known as solid figure. Right? The learning objective of the lesson is students will be able to classify 2D shapes and 3D shapes, right? Now, before I start on, may I know, when I say shapes, what does it comes in your mind when I say shapes? All right, shapes. There are different types and kinds of shapes. For instance, we have triangle, square, rectangle, right? Right. Now, so today we're going to look at shapes, but two different types of shapes. One is plane shape or the figure, the other one is a solid figure, right? Also known as space figure. Now, what is a plane figure? Right? What is a plane figure? Plane figure is a shape that can be drawn on a flat surface, right? It can be drawn on a flat surface, right? For example, we can draw a square, right? We can draw a square. We can also draw a rectangle. Excuse me. We can also draw a circle, right? And as well as a triangle. Now, these are examples of plane figures, right? Plane figures are figures that can be drawn on a flat surface. Now, there are two different types of plane figures, and this is characterized into two different kinds. One is open plane figure and the other one is a closed plane figure. Now, I have a chart and I want you all to concentrate, please. All right. Plane figures, right? Open figures, right? What is open figure now? Open figure, these are shapes that starts at a point and ends at another point, right? Open figures are figures that can be drawn from one point to the other point, right? And starts at a point and ends at the other point, right? For example, caves, right? Angles. These are example of open figures, right? And there is a closed figure, right? What is closed figure? These are figures that start at a point and ends at the same point, right? Closed figures are figures that starts at a point and ends at that same point. For example, if we drawing a circle, we draw a circle from here right to that same point where we started without lifting our pencil. So it's a closed plane figure. Right. Now, what is plane figure? Right. Plane figure is a figure that can be drawn on a flat surface, and it is characterized into two different types. And these include open plane figure and the closed plane figure. Right. Now we look at solid figure or the space figures. Alright. Solid or the space figures. Now, what is solid figure? Right? What is solid figure? Now, I want you all to read with me. Solid figures. Solid figures does not lie on flat or plane surface. These figures are three-dimensional or 3D figures such as length, width and height. Moreover, it have faces, edges and vertex or the corners. Solid figures are also known as three-dimensional or 3D shapes or the figures. It has length, height, width, right? Plus, it has faces, edges and the vertex, that is the corners. Right. What is faces? Right? What is faces? Faces are flat surface of a solid figure. Right? These are the faces. Edges are formed when two faces meet. It's a straight line segment. So what is edges? Edges are formed when two faces meet. It's a straight line segment. Vertex are points where edges meet. Vertex are also known as corners. It's the point where edges meet. Right. Today we're going to look at three solid figures, namely cuboid, cylinder and sphere. So solid figures are cuboid, cylinder and sphere. There are others, but we are going to concentrate only three of it. Now, cuboid. What is an example of a solid figure? A cuboid. For example, a gift box. It's a gift box and it is known as solid figure plus it is a cuboid. Right? Now, as I have said, it has length, height and width. Right? And also faces, edges and vertex. Now, can anyone tell me how many faces does this cuboid have? How many faces? This cuboid has 8 faces. Sorry. It has 6 faces. 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Right? 6 faces. How many edges? There are how many edges? Can anyone let me know? There are how many? Okay, let us count together. It has how many edges? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Right? 12 edges. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. 12 edges. Right? And how many vertex? The corners does this cuboid have? 8. Right? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. 8 corners. Right? 8 corners. Right? Alright, now another example. This is a rectangular prism. Now, anyone can let me know how many faces does this rectangular prism have? Right. There are 6 faces, right? Let us count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 faces. 12 edges as well, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 edges. And excuse me, 8 corners. 8 corners. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 corners altogether. Right? It's a rectangular prism. Now, we're going to look at another example of a solid figure, and that is cylinder. Right? Cylinder. So, cylinder, what is cylinder? Cylinder are circular figures, right? Or the cylinders are mostly in circular shape, such as this mug, right? Can anyone tell me how many faces do you see in this cylinder? 2. 1 and 2. Right? How many edges? 2. 1 and 2. Right? 2 edges. How many vertex or the corners? You can't find any corners or the vertex. So there is none. Right? Right. Moving further on, we'll look at sphere. Right? Sphere. The example of a sphere is a bowl. A bowl. Right? These figures are mostly round. They are round. Right? So, can anyone let me know how many edges you can see in this sphere? No, there is no edges. How many corners or the vertex do you see? None. There are none. Right? How many faces? How many faces? 0. There is 1. Right? There is only 1 face. Right? You can see it's only 1. Now, what is a solid figure? Solid figures are figures that cannot be drawn. Right? These are figures that cannot be drawn, these are figures that cannot lie on a flat surface. Right? The example of solid figures are cuboid, cylinder, and sphere. Examples of cuboid, right? Such as gift box. Right? What else? Dice is an example of a cuboid. Now, what is an example of a cylinder? The Rolls of paper towel is an example of a cylinder. Mug, yes, okay. And sphere, example of a sphere. All right. Ball, orange. What else? World globe. These are example of spheres. Now, I'll give you a short test to test what you all understood. Is there any question, any misconceptions that you have? Please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. Now I want you all to close your book and we'll start a short test. All right? Thank you.